It's a name synonymous with speed and power, but it may surprise you to learn that the organization behind industry leaders like Mercury Marine is making waves in the sustainability space. Here to tell us more is Brunswick CEO David Foulkes. David, thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Great to be here, Brian.
Well, welcome back to CES. Brunswick is making a few big announcements here at CES, launching a few new ACES-related products, a new brand identity, and showcasing autonomous docking of the future.
That's right.
Can you tell us what's new at Brunswick?
Oh, there's so much new. You mentioned quite a few things there. We first presented in 2020 here. It was a wonderful occasion for us, and we were so pleased to be back. You mentioned our ACES strategy, which is an acronym for Autonomous, Connected, Electrified, and Shared. And those are some of the key themes of our innovation over the last 3 or 4 years. And really, we're bringing them to life, I think, at CES this year with some new product launches in electrification in particular, but also demonstrating some technologies in autonomy or ADAS that are really close to commercialization. And we're presenting them, I think, in a really fun way that's very interactive for the show.
Exactly, that booth is incredible. So why create the Avator electric boat motor?
Well, I think you see electrification coming through in so many verticals now, whether it's automotive or aviation or even advanced agriculture and mining and those things. And of course, it's a big part of our sustainability strategy. We take sustainability very seriously, whether it's making sure that we reduce energy consumption in our facilities or water consumption, through to making sure that our products are as sustainable as possible. And marine is a bit of a different application for electrification. You can imagine, boats, 6 degrees of freedom, they pitch, they roll, the environment is much less structured. But it's great to be able to bring a technology like electrification to that kind of environment. At the moment, even with advanced technology, electrification applies really in the kind of smaller boat market. We can't really reproduce in electrification some of the really high power engines that you mentioned in your intro. But gradually, as the technology evolves, we'll be introducing higher and higher power electric motors. What we introduced at CES this time was the first in a series of outboard motors, 48 volts, that will power smaller craft in the 15 to 20 feet range. But we think that's a great market for us.
That's incredible. So can you tell me a bit, and tell our viewers a bit more about the Future Helm and how it came to be?
Well, we've been developing various ways to make boating more intuitive for quite a while. So if you've been on a new, bigger boat, you control it with a joystick now. You can move the boat directly sideways or spin it on its axis. We have a thing called Skyhook, which holds the boat in position against wind and waves. We have autopilot systems. But now we're developing sensor-based systems, just like in the automotive market, that help a captain or a boater with docking the boat, or obstacle avoidance, or some advanced maneuvering. So in boating, for autonomy, the purpose is not really to detach the boater or the captain from the experience, because operating the boat is part of the fun, right?
Yeah.
But what we like to do is use it to augment and assist them and build their confidence in some of those more stressful situations where, particularly like docking, where even experienced boaters, it can be a challenge depending on the environment. So that is where we're advancing it. And we've demonstrated this physically, but obviously at CES, it's certain limitations on what we can demonstrate physically with a big boat. So we took the opportunity to reproduce it in a Future Helm environment. It's almost like an IMAX type environment. So it feels very immersive, and you can operate the boat just as you would a real boat.
That's absolutely incredible, considering the water's moving, too, to do that. That's so incredible. So you had a great product already. Why innovate and change boating?
Innovation is, we're in it for the long term. It's really what we invest a lot in. It's part of our culture, and our customers really respond to it. They like contemporary technology. They like to feel that they're at the leading edge when they buy a new boat. Electronics is one of the things that customers are super interested in. Obviously, they're interested in safety and confidence building things. So we try and innovate and use technology, not just for the sake of it, but to really add value to the consumer, to make their life more fun, or more safe, or more confidence building. So really, add value, and we've got a long history of being successful at it.
That's incredible. And so what exactly is the Fathom e-Power system, and why is it so cool?
It is a super cool system. So the product that we introduced, that we talked about earlier, which is Avator, is a propulsion system, a set of electric outboards, a series of electric outboards. But it's very difficult to electrify higher power boats just because of the power requirements. But what we can do is most big boats have an internal combustion engine generator on board. Separate from the propulsion system, it powers what we call the house loads. That would be air conditioning, refrigeration, infotainment, all of the electrical and electronic systems on the boat. And what we can do now is replace that internal combustion engine generator with a high-capacity lithium-ion battery system. We own 2 lithium-ion battery companies and a power management system. So instead of running that generator when you're anchored or on a beach or whatever, now you can power all of your systems quietly and in a very environmentally friendly way from this advanced lithium-ion system. And you can recharge it overnight at the dock, or the main engines will recharge it as well. So it's almost like, a plug-in hybrid system, but dedicated to the house loads on the boat.
That's absolutely incredible, especially when considering how much electrification across the board has been a show theme for years, but to see it go from land now to sea is just such a natural extension. And so I have to ask, this is CES, we're always looking to the future into innovations and technologies. So bring it back home to Brunswick. What's next for Brunswick?
Well, we are continuing on our path of evolution. We see some really interesting applications of electrification. Electrification allows you not just to replace conventional engines, but you can do different form factors, different designs of boat potentially. So combination of electrification, of autonomy and connectivity, I think really opens a lot of possibilities for the future for us. And we are very future orientated. So we will be going down that path and maintaining our innovation leadership, using those innovations, using new materials. Think about sustainability options there with new materials for boats. So we have a lot to come yet. I mean, we're delivering a lot right now, but the future is very exciting for us.
Well, I'm really excited about that future, and I can't wait to see more from you all in the coming years. So David, thank you once again for joining us here on the CES Digital stage. If you'd like to learn more about what Brunswick is doing, head over to the West Hall or check out the link below.